David, how's Luke tracking this week? Do you think he'll play?
Yeah, really confident he'll play. More so, well, confident last week, as I know it sounds a bit silly, but more so this week. He just had a little bit of doubt in his mind more than anything. So, again, he made the call, and but he trained Sunday and felt nothing. So we're planning for him to play.
So he copped a nasty split to the head. Is he's fine for that?
Yeah, he's had a few stitches. So, yeah, we'll look after him today. It was a big head clash. So, but as you know, to borrow the phrase, the immortal John Kennedy, well, injuries above the shoulders don't count. So, I'm sure cuts don't worry him too much. But we'll always have a bit of TLC wrapped around them. But they're excited to be playing at the minute. So, and pretty keen to keep their spots. But yeah, we'll make an informed decision. But yeah, we're certainly planning for him to play.
Did you get a chance to watch North live last week, and what did you make?
No, we didn't. We don't. We get on the 3 o'clock consistently, and so by the time we land, get our kit, it's about 9. So I didn't really see any of it.
What are you expecting from them on what you've watched?
Yeah, we know they're a top 4 team from last year. We know they had some early challenges, but have regrouped really well, and their best is very, very good. And I heard obviously Brad's comments, a guy I respect, and they beat us here last year. They got really good depth. They got a super list. They got some evergreens running around, like Harvey, and so we understand it's another big challenge, and that's probably the point I've been making. You get to breathe out after the game. We certainly enjoy a win, and we smile, and or everyone else does, and I'll just be me, and we get on to the next one because the challenges sort of keep coming at you.
Do you feel like you get a real advantage in midfield, given they're missing Del Santo, Wells and Swallow now?
Yeah, look, they're significant players. I think we acknowledge that. But as we said, they've got great depth in there, and it certainly hasn't stopped them beating a couple of teams with good midfields, which has been Richmond and Essendon. So, they've got a really good ruckman in Goldstein and really good ground level. So we're planning. We plan and prepare the same way. Obviously, we feel confident in our football at the moment because we've been able to deliver consistently, and what we're doing stands up. So that does give us a degree of confidence, but we need to sort of make sure that all occurs again. And they throw some different. Everyone just structures up slightly differently. A few little challenges here and there, but we'll plan for them. Like the Bulldogs, we felt we took their game away from them. Front half turnovers, repeat entries. They just counterpunched us a bit, which is unusual for us, which doesn't happen. So we've been able to identify how that happened. It was just some sloppiness behind the ball and organisation. And North Melbourne are really a counterpunch team, so they'll look at that thinking, well, we can get them with counterpunch sort of footy. So we'll have to prepare well for that.
Given Peel can't have the bye this week, does that mix up any selection or have any dilemmas at the selection table?
Yeah, look, it's not ideal. It'd be good for some of our young players to sort of get a physical rest, but it gives you the advantage of bringing 3 emergencies to the game. And we're going to train Sunday because we go Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. But feedback from our leadership group, it would be good for the guys to align themselves with the seniors, so they'll train Saturday morning. So therefore, the emergencies will still hold over. So that, there's a couple of logistical challenges, but nothing too dramatic.
When you look at the rooms, Ross, do you use the loss last year over here as motivation, or is it simply sort of mechanics?
Yeah, not motivation. I think it just, you understand that they're capable. And all teams would have notes. What are the things they did against us that they think may have worked or mightn't have? So we just sort of use that as a reference back.
What were some of the things that you learned from that?
I learned just don't bomb it in, and when Pav's triple team, kick at the Pav. Because we had, I can't remember the number, but a fair few more entries. And so you've got to have good ball use against them, and don't let Nick Del Santo run free, but he's not playing. So, that was the main one. I think they double team Pav a fair bit. Our offence or attacking footy's changed, how we structured up's changed, so we'll still need to deal with that. They were the main things.
Just a word on Mzungu, how's he?
Tendai? Yeah, he played really well. He's a frustrated man. So he'll come up for selection. We haven't got too many injuries. and everyone's in solid form, so he might have to wait again to get his opportunity. You'd think he'd be in the emergencies in the 25, but he just needs to keep it going. But as always, anything can happen out there today.
Do you need more from your small forwards like Walters and Ballantyne? Are they
Yeah.
happy with their output?
There's been a bit of noise with that. I think Hayden had 3 shots last week, and I think 2 of them were really gettable. And Sonny kicked 2. And I thought Michael Sun played really, really well. I gave him votes, and some of his ball use and kicking to the other foot. I thought he kicked clutch goals and the tackles. So, yeah, we could always get a little bit more, but I think they're in pretty good nick still.
Ballantyne in particular, though, have you seen his season? Obviously, was a bit interrupted with that suspension.
Yeah, he was. I think he played really well down at Geelong, didn't he? So when he goes out, I think, gee, I wish little bugger was there. And then he's been thereabouts without being at his very, very best. And but yeah, I've spent some time when things aren't going perfectly. They're not going bad. Most small forwards would take 3 shots on goal. Spent some time with him, just cleared up. Would like you to do this and this, and as always, he's like, no worries, coach, I'll get it done. So yeah, we're really confident.
That's 100. Sorry, you go.
Crowley had his hearing on Monday. Have you had a chance to speak?
Yeah, I saw him downstairs, shook his hand, and he certainly feels that it's a step forward in the process. I didn't ask him too many questions. He said he felt the hearing was a fair hearing, and from his end it went well. So, yeah, he's obviously waiting on adjudication now.
Snats hunch this week's obviously been a bit of hype about it. I was interested to hear on radio, you said a couple of weeks ago that he had a good look at some of the best stoppage players in the comp to really try and improve his stoppage play over the last 6 months. Are you able to elaborate on what you've seen in terms of the improvements? He's obviously become one of the best stoppage players.
Yeah, look, it probably gets a bit technical
Yeah.
for this forum, to be truthful. So what the best stoppages do, they move really well, they identify the holes, and they're very good at timing and understanding who's winning the ball. But above all else, if you think about them, they're just fierce competitors. You know, Kennedy from the Swans, and they're big men, but Selwood's a fierce competitor. Penalty reads, and they're clean, and they don't fumble, they're strong, they don't go to ground, and they make good decisions, and they're fierce competitors. And just some movement stuff. But for this forum, it's probably beyond that, it's a little bit technical. But there's not much more to it, really. We complicate it. Sometimes see ball, get ball, strike at the ball. They strike at the ball pretty well.
How have you seen him grow as a person over your time?
Yeah, look, it's just a coach-player relationship. And when things are going well, I tend to leave them alone. So Nathan and I don't have too many, based on that principle, we don't have too many conversations. So what we have worked together on is him, you know, influencing in the right manner in his leadership with all the other players. So he's in the formal leadership group now. He's an action-based leader, but he's certainly spreading his influence through the player group and working with the other leaders to reinforce the behaviours that we value. And they're not complicated. They're like most workplaces. Hard work, discipline, teamsmanship, collaboration, respect, integrity. So those behaviours are important at football clubs too, and Nathan models those really well, and he helps. And what other leaders see problems with other players and they need help, and Nathan wraps some support and helps give them an action plan to improve. So that's the natural evolution. Once you get more comfortable in your own game, you then got the time and the inclination to be able to do that, and he's certainly doing that, which has been good.
Yeah, just touching on that, it's only basically over the past 12 months or so where he was really pushing towards a more formal leadership role. Was there something that kind of clicked in that regard, or was it just...
No, that's just natural, and that's recognition by his peers. I don't pick the leadership group. The players pick their leaders. So they saw all those behaviours in front of their eyes and consistently, and they nominated him.
Ross, another on selection, Paul Duffield obviously in the sub-best last week. Where does he sit in terms of sort of best 22 every week?
No, he's been a very good player. Look, there's no automatics, but that's part of, if you talk about you guys 0-7 or 7-0, whatever, resting, but sometimes there's subtle things you do of sharing the load and getting Tommy Sheridan in, Paul Duffield a bit of a breather. So we might continue to go. That's all that was last week. But we don't run it up the flagpole. We're putting Tommy in, but it's there if you want to look at it.